Price, neuroscience expert, business coach, wise man, and friend of many years. I'm Tony Sham, and it's my honor today to be with Bill Price as we go through and understand who Bill Price is and what are those things that he does that makes a difference to the world. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you so much, Tony. Wow, what a privilege. While you were introducing me, two things came to mind. Our 20-year journey together, I think, or plus minus more than 20 years. And it's always interesting. I was introduced as an expert at a conference some time ago, and I thought, wow, that's like amazing, until I went and read up that an X is a has-been and a spurt is a drip under pressure. But yeah, so I'm not really an expert, but I have walked the miles. I love neuroscience. I'm crazy about the mind and the brain and consciousness. I am passionate about leadership and executive leadership and strategy. And yeah, I'm absolutely passionate about leaders and leaders of leaders, for them to make their mark that matter in their lifetime. And yeah, to tick off the tick list and to be able to sit back with a deep sense of personal accomplishment. My goal.
Fantastic, excellent. Bill, for the people who you've had to do with over the years, what do you think they say about you?
Oh. All right, well, I've had them say very many interesting things about me. I've had them say both the light and good, and then also some of the shadow and the dark stuff. They say that I help. The one CEO said to me in last week, Bill, this coaching session has really helped me because I found myself in a battle, and it was as if I was fighting with my one arm tied behind my back. And this session, you untied my arm so that I could fight with both hands. In other ways, other leaders have told me that the coaching has helped them in terms of a great deal of focus, clarity, given them perspective in terms of being able to see things from another way. Because leaders who are successful have one sad default, and that is they lean back into their success as a comfort zone, and it goes like an autopilot. I've done it before, I can do it again, and that becomes their Achilles heel. And the reality of that for leaders simply means that they tend to do then the same things the same way, expecting the same results. And Einstein said, if you do things the same way and expect different results, then you are mad. So, and I have the joy of being able to come alongside leaders and go, I think, let me help you with a little bit of the madness around you, because I think that's where most leaders of leaders are right now. It's the madness of change, it's the madness of disruption, it's the madness of everything that's happening at the same time, the multiplicity of stuff, the interconnectedness of stuff that's happening is absolutely scary. And here we have people of high stature, people of high quality. I mean, they've really worked hard to get where they are. A CEO doesn't get born overnight. That's a journey, that. And I deeply understand that and absolutely honor that. And but they fall into this trap of assuming that they will continue to be successful. It's almost like you go to a company and you go to a strategy meeting, and the person in the gray suit, who's usually the financial director or the chief financial executive, they'll say, our budget, we're increasing it by 15%. And it's where did we get the 15% from? And it's like, and you go to the next company and we go, okay, we're doing 14% and then 12%. Based on what? And I get the feel that many times companies use history as a way in which they want to create a legacy or to create the future. And the sad part about that is that the brain, which is history orientated, which is past orientated, the brain does not like change. The brain, every time we try and bring change, starts to play a game with us, and it'll do three things. Number one, the first thing it'll do is, because it doesn't like change, because it wants to survive. The moment the brain picks up, or the mind picks up, oh my goodness, we're going to change here, then the mind switches on, and then it starts self-talk. And then it goes, let me just talk to you a little bit. You're not really as good as you are. It's not going to work. And then all your cognitive biases come to play. Your 21 filter systems in the brain come to play. Your 8 brain languages start switching on, and they start showing you pictures, etc., etc. Yeah. So, wow, it's a maze in which people find themselves in when they're working in the business within their mind.
Okay. So, Bill, your approach is explicitly neuroscientific.
I wouldn't say explicitly. I also hold qualification in psychology and in industrial psychology as well. So I tend to glean and use a lot of that as well. But my main focus is that I pay attention to how the brain or the mind answers the next question. So I'm focusing, the moment the brain gets a question or a mind gets a question, I pay attention to the answer, and I'm watching intently as to where the mind is going to find the answer. I can't foretell what they're about to say. So it's not about foretelling in any way. But the magnificence of the mind is when, once the person understands the question, the mind goes, oh, okay, I've got it. And it goes there quicker, it goes there faster, and you come up with information that's not filled with fluff.
Yes. So, Bill, what are the needs of companies in the 21st century? Where do companies, you've alluded to it, but tell us in detail, what are the needs of the companies in the modern day?
So companies forget the fact that they are a living organism. Companies think that they are assets, balance sheet statements, that they are a set of rules and regulations, that they have a culture. And with the art of neuroscience, I help leaders to understand that your company doesn't have a culture. Your company actually has a soul life. And your company is a living organism. So when we talk about what is company culture and company politics, it's the ego of people in interplay. It's people who create the culture. It's people and the way that they do things that creates that culture. So companies desperately need long-term thinking. Our companies are in survival mode right now. A lot of them are thinking, and they're saying you can't think long-term because the world offers too much chaos within a matter of moments. Another thing that companies need is that they really do need a well-thought-out structure and strategy. They absolutely need that, without which they're not going to be very successful at all. They also need to understand the critical factors that they, as a company and as a leadership, need to weave together to create a tipping point if they're going to make changes, or if they're going to be a disruptor rather than be disrupted. And companies need to understand their role and function, their why, as Simon Sinek so beautifully puts it in his book. And then they also need to realize that they need to work very well and very focused on objectives, forecasts, and to understand what makes them a success. What are their financial formulas that make them a success? What are they good at? What are they passionate about and what are they best at? And when you put that to play together with what's the product that we are offering our world, then you've got a winning game. And so companies need agile awareness. They need to become agile, and they need to become absolutely conscious, absolutely aware that they can't live on the past history of last month's balance statement. It's you have to live with 1 foot into the future and 1 foot on the perimeter of the present, but definitely not in the past. You can't, the past is already too late. You've lost it, it's gone. You can do nothing with it. You can only go, oops.
So, Bill, at a personal level, you're dealing with people who are leaders at all different levels. Those guys at the top of the train, aspirant leaders. What are the needs of leadership?
So, Gladman says that once you've done 10,000 hours and have applied yourself to one thing in a focused and structured way for 10,000 hours, then you become a master. I've got 38,686 one-on-one hours and counting. And I've got to tell you, I really don't feel like a master, not like he describes it in the book. I feel the pain of personal failure, so I've been there. I've been where there's failure, where there's hurt, where there's disappointment, where there's rejection, where there's not getting the job and all of that. I've walked the crucible of leadership, and I've got the bruises and the t-shirt and have starred as the non-hero in the movie. But leaders today need to get to the place of self-permission giving. And that's a place of courage and grit, where leaders, no matter who they are, need to have the courage to be able to put their hand up and go, it's okay, I need help. And the moment a leader can say that, but of course they can't say it because they can't go to their team and go, I need help, guys, because then they seem weak. So leadership, first of all, needs courage, grit, strength. They need someone that they can confide in. They need someone that they can talk to and relate to. They need someone that they can sound off things on, that they can bounce ideas off. They need someone who can mirror and reflect back some of their thinking. And that's everything that executive coaching does. Very good executive coaching does. So leaders they're focusing on the reality of life, and they're focusing on the methodology of stuff, and then they're also focusing on the reality of stuff. And it's like, how do I make those two work? Leaders also need to stabilize their board in a time of storm. Leaders need clarity, they need focus. Leaders need to make an impact and a connection. Their voice needs to be heard, their presence needs to be felt. Because the moment a leader disappears and doesn't say a thing, their team and everybody in the company concoct the next story. And so a leader has to be there in the form of who they are. Leaders have to be resilient. Leaders have to be inclusive. Leaders have to bring stability. Leaders have to bring hope. And it all starts and ends with leadership. And that's a tough place to be. It's really not an easy place to be nowadays.
So, Bill, I want to say, speak for a moment, if you can, to that person who's battling out there. They feel like they're going nowhere. They feel like they're not achieving their objectives. They feel like their business life has become really difficult. And all those situations that you've mentioned, what's a possible way forward for somebody who finds himself in the crucible, in that difficult situation?
The painful reality is that you've come to a place where you've made the most amazing decision to go that it's real for me. I'm facing these realities, and there's nothing like reality to be the conduit for truth. And so you've come to the most truthful moment in your life. You're not alone, and you need to know that there is more for you than there is that's against you. And that the first thing you need to do is to stop assuming that you're going to achieve success by doing things the same old way as you always have. And you need to understand that you've got to be fascinated with the reality of the next decision and the possibility that that next decision can bring. You need to have the guts and the strength and a low ego to be able to put your hand up and go, listen, I really need help, and I need someone to talk to, I need someone to relate to, and I need someone that I can talk about my capacity and my competency, and that I want to have this awakened need within me that I've now just realized I need help and my company needs help, that there are people who are expert and who are good at doing what they do in terms of helping leaders lead so that they can achieve their summits together with their teams in their lifetime and even achieve their legacy. So you can walk to a problem, through a problem, around a problem, and you have the capacity and ability to turn a problem into a challenge and then turn that challenge into a transformed reality. But you can do it, try and do it alone, not going to really work for you. But if you've got someone that can help you and you can confide in, then it becomes far easier and it becomes far more or far less of a strain on you as a person. And so leadership, there is help, there is an opportunity, there is coaching, there is amazing people out there who can take your heart in the one hand, take your mind in the other, and help you to co-create a brand new future than what you're experiencing right now.
Bill, it's been tremendous. I did describe you as a man of wisdom, and the more I understand about you, the more I see what potential you have for making change in the lives of the people who are struggling, the people who are battling.
Thank you very much.
It's been a privilege for me to have been with you today, and I look forward to continuing the journey with you as we go along. Any final words there?
I can't wait for the journey to unfold and continue. And thank you for the opportunity to be able to use this platform just to be heard and be seen. And I hope that someone out there has heard and seen. And if that's happened, then it's been a great success.
Thank you. So people, we've had a fantastic insight into Bill Price and the difference that he makes to the people that he comes into contact with. And if you feel that he could be of use to you, of help to you, we ask you to please subscribe to his newsletter, the details of which are at the bottom of the screen. Thank you very much and look forward to hearing from you soon.